from the assembly point of view, each operator is classed as an inspector. Each man whose job is passed on, the next man to him, he is supposed to be ensured that the man in front of his work is done correctly. If it isn't, he automatically rejects it by his own knowledge. Half your inspection work on this job is done by these men on the job. If they find fault, they call you, and you enable yourself to put it right, like, there are more men getting picked out off of the job and getting into these inspection jobs. And they seem to come up and they look towards the inspectors on the job to guide them more than what years ago an inspector stood on a job watching a man, he'd naturally up about. As soon as the inspector turned his back, he sort of dodged the column and doing it, he wouldn't do while the inspector wasn't there. But now, if a man's got any trouble, he's only too willing to shout to say that he's found something. They are more aware of what goes into the product.
All engines, when they've been assembled, are subjected to a half-hour's test where they are placed on a stand and they're driven by a motor. Oil pressures are checked, functional check of the engine is carried out. A check is also carried out to ensure that the correct parts are fitted to the type of engine that has been required.
When the engine has been approved, it is stamped with a number that will stay with it for the rest of the engine's life. Moreover, a daily sample of all engines is put on test for tens of hours to guarantee that no defects have crept in unnoticed. Others are taken at random, stripped right down, and every dimension checked.
The inspector in the Ford Motor Company has quite a lot of power. If a job is wrong, he puts a reject tag on that, a red tag, and that is the law. That tag cannot be removed. Nobody else can remove that tag.
But not all inspection can be carried out by machines. For example, each set of gears is checked for smoother, silent running. Any wrong note and the teeth are trimmed and tested, trimmed and retested until the operator is satisfied.
The job actually is to run the gears, to eliminate damage, find out whether they cause whine, and to eradicate any superfluous damage to ensure a good, quiet gearbox.
This is also true of the transmission assembly.
This is supposed to be the silent house to make this as quiet as possible. That's their way of helping out here. By listening, sometimes you can feel it if it's very bad. You feel the shock of it going through the old box, but it's mostly by ear.
So it goes on. Quality control, operated by man and machine. Quality control, a control system designed to guarantee the finest workmanship in every vehicle that leaves the Ford works. Of course, we make cars by the thousand. How else can one make cars of quality people expect, at prices they can afford? But we sell them one by one. Every one is as good as we can make it.
Our job is to find faults. That's what we're there for. To find faults and to ensure the men are doing the job correctly. We take the very first component part that's manufactured, check it completely to the blueprint, and if it's away from specification in any shape or form, we reject the job.
We look for a surface which will provide a finish condition, a finish which sells the car, a finish which is pleasing to the eye, a finish which will weather and give full service to the customer in years to come.
There are approximately 5,000 spot welds in every car body. 5,000 welds, which are the key to a system producing a car body light and strong.
We find that by properly spaced welds, we get much the same effect as you would get from rather laborious riveting method. Certainly the weld, as far as the method of construction these days is concerned, the welding is probably given us a superior build to that given formerly by rivets, which were spaced at much greater intervals than are the present day monocoque construction jobs welded in this way.
So the record kept of every gun in the factory. They're going from gun to gun, and over a period of, say, 2 days, every gun in the system's checked.
As in other departments, random samples are taken regularly from the production line and every weld is checked. The occasional failures are communicated to the inspector on the line, whose task it is to see that they are rectified.
Production do rely on us as a check against their standard of work.
The production people themselves are building in quality rather than having to force it into the job.
We have one standard, good quality.
Our job is to provide the paint shop with a body that will give them a satisfactory surface condition for a good application of paint. The body is washed to remove all oil or machining deposits to prepare it for the metal finish operations.
A clean panel enables the operator to examine the surface correctly, find the defects and repair them. And then the body is then passed to the paint shop for painting.
We will be feeling for any high spot, low spot, or anything at all on the face of the panel that would affect the paint.